So, I've been watching Dragon Ball for a good week. I finished it a little while ago. I finished it a couple of days ago, and I kind of wanted to give my thoughts on it. I wanted to just basically tell you guys how good it was because I liked it a lot. There's a lot about it that I just really, really liked. I'm talking like the OG Dragon Ball. I'm not talking about Z or Super right now. I'm talking about like original Dragon Ball because I haven't watched the original Dragon Ball by myself like ever, right? I saw some episodes here and there because my brother was like watching it in the living room a couple years ago. Excuse me, I just ate. I'm burping a little bit, but I never watched it by myself. And Z, I'm rewatching because I haven't watched it since since it had like one of its reruns on Toonami. Really pulled like a W right there instead of an R. But since it had one of its reruns on Toonami, since like right before Super came out, right? So I haven't watched it since then. But I did feel like I wanted to watch the original Dragon Ball because in my mind I was like, I haven't really watched this by myself, so I might as well just kind of give myself something to watch, give myself something like to ease my mind and like watch Dragon Ball and see how good like this actually is, right? Because I haven't seen any reviews on how people thought about Dragon Ball yet. I haven't seen any like any in-depth lore on Dragon Ball. It's always been about like Z specifically, kind of about Super. When Super, it's more like kind of like how it correlates to like games and the power structures and everything like that. But for the original Dragon Ball, I haven't seen any like watched any video by myself, and I don't know if that's because I didn't. Ugh, ooh, I was about to sneeze. But I don't know if that's because I wasn't interested in it, or it just didn't show up on my feed, or I just didn't go out to look for it. But I just never really watched any of it. So I might plan to watch something like it like later on, but I want to give my own in-depth personal kind of review on it because I really liked it a lot. And to start off, I'm probably just going to compare it to Z a little bit here, but this is just going to be in terms of like world building. The world building I really like a lot. I prefer it to like Z and Super a little bit. It's not by a whole lot, but I prefer it mostly because in Z and Super we don't really get to explore the Earth that much. In Dragon Ball, we get to explore it a whole lot, right? We get to explore it way more than in those two shows. And that's because, we have. I think that's mostly because it was kind of new, right? It was supposed to be based on Earth, and it was supposed to be just that specifically. So why not just basically show all of the different places that Goku and Bulma and Krillin and Yamcha and everyone have across the world, right? So you have like a really Western place, with like Western like kind of robberies and like bars and stuff, and just like a really really good Western feel to it. You have like the rivers and the valleys and the mountains where Goku's from. You have like the city where Bulma's from. You have like the desert where Yamcha and Puar are from. You have like I don't know how to call it. It's kind of like like close to where they went to fight like the Rabbit Gang, the Bunny Gang. I don't know. I don't even know what to call it, but it's more. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be more kind of like a Middle East kind of place, but it doesn't really look like it at all. It has like this really ethereal feel to it, and that's mostly because of where they're going. It feels kind of more magical from where they're going because it looks like kind of like a magical kind of forest, and I do like that a lot. I do like that a whole ton, but I do really love how diverse the world is in Dragon Ball. 'Cause, you also have like the kind of like the forest with like the native tribes and everything like that, and Corn Tower, and all the way up to where Kami lives, and in the city and everything like that. I just really like that a lot. I really like all of that a lot. I really like how there's different subsects of people, but it's not to the point where they all live in different countries or like continents, because it seems like they're all from the same kind of place, but it's not just one type of person. It's always, like there's like a dog that's talking, a a fucking like oolong, right? A pig that talks, right? A flying whatever puar is, right? A dinosaur, a dragon that comes in and fights people, a wolf man or man wolf. Yeah, man wolf. That's what his name was. There was a man wolf, right? I think that's so cool. I really appreciate that a lot. That's not something I see a whole ton. Like modern anime, like in JJK, you kind of see it, right? Because but I think that's more of just like the world it's in, but it's not to the point of there's so many different things that are there, right? But in JJK, you kind of see it. You kind of see it in, I think, more anime like Hunter x Hunter, but Hunter x Hunter was made like years ago. Point is, I really like how the world building and the people in it. I really like how different everything feels from one another, and how that actually like combines and turns into this really well-made thing. Because I feel like that would be hard to put all of that together, make everything and everyone feel so different, and then make it feel so like it's in the right place. It's in its own right place, and I really like that a lot. And they kind of have that as well in Z, but that's more of how like there's different aliens and different kind of things like that. But it's not to the same extent of like Dragon Ball, right? I think that's mostly because it's kind of more of like a slow rollout of characters rather than in Dragon Ball, or it's kind of like more of a like here's this exists, this is this like there you have it basically, right? But I also haven't watched Dragon Ball Z in a while, so this is just based on memory. This is based on how I remember it. I'm gonna be going through it. I'm on like episode 36, I think. Yeah, episode 36. I'll probably make a video on that, and I'm probably gonna go back to that and be like, maybe I was wrong about that, or maybe I was right. But that's basically what I'm gonna be doing. But yeah, I really just like that a lot, and I really like the pacing of it. The pacing of it is really, really good. I do love that a lot because it doesn't feel like anything's going too fast or too slow. Everything feels like it's in its right place. Everything feels right. You go from this to this, and you know what's going on. You go from this to this and this. You don't feel like it's too slow and it's boring, or it's too fast and you don't know what's going on at all. I think the pacing is like perfect for what it is. And I do like the fighting. This is like the thing I like more than in Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. I think more so Super, but that's kind of like right. But I do like the fights more, and I think that's because the fights are much more grounded. I like that part a lot. They're still like very like spectacular and like kind of like have this pizzazz to it, but it's still really good, and I like that a lot. I like how more grounded it feels compared to like the other series. And I don't know about it. It's just something about it, something about like how someone can be stronger than you, but you can have different techniques, or you can think about things and be like, hey, maybe this is how we can go it down, pinpoint like the weakness rather than try to fight them head on, and all this kind of stuff that I really like a lot. And I think a lot of anime don't really do that anymore. I think it's more of if someone's strong, just straight up become stronger than them. And I think in part Dragon Ball has kind of popularized that. I think that's where it comes from. Mostly like Dragon Ball Z, where it's like Goku's fighting Vegeta, and so he doesn't really find Vegeta's weak spot. He's like, okay, Kaioken times 3, right? And goes for the Kamehameha and everything like that. And it's like to go more powerful than him rather than to find his weaknesses, which I don't dislike at all. It's like not to be like a critique or anything like that. I just feel like since a lot of anime have done that, it's more of a breath of fresh air to me to find that it's like, hey, this is what it is, right? It's not just like growing more powerful. You can be smart about it and go for what the person doesn't have rather than what they do have. I think that's really cool, at least to me. I like that a lot. I like that aspect a whole lot. I like how grounded it feels. That's basically how I feel about all the action and everything like that. And then after that, like the storytelling. I really like the storytelling aspect of it. It's kind of like it's not like a slow roll of story, but I do feel the quality is like it kind of goes uphill from because from Jump it's kind of like okay, it's like a 7 out of 10. It's like kind of standard anime from the beginning, and then it rolls up, right? It rolls up through since like you go for the Dragon Balls the first time, and then after that it bumps up. You go to the training arc with Rochi, and then you go to the 21st tournament, and then the ribbon arc, and then you go to what was it? I think it was the next tournament. I think after that, right? Red Ribbon. Yeah. It was like the what's it called? You go to fortune teller Bawa to get the last like Dragon Ball, and you go through how Goku meets like fucking Grandpa Gohan from there, and I think that's really cool, and I think that was really well done. But still, it ramps up, right? That's basically my main point. The storytelling and quality ramps up from there to up until the end, and even then, I think the end is kind of more of a that's where it kind of flatlines. And that's kind of because it's the end, but also because after that, it's not this grand note. It's not this grand finale because it's missing its other half, which is Dragon Ball Z. With that, up until the end, that you can say, oh, that's where it pinpoint done, right? Up until like Super, where they kind of retcon everything, right? But from there, it's like kind of like it's its other half that's missing, right? But still, the quality goes up and up and up, and I really like that a lot. I like how the writing gets better and better and better. Though, I mean, I'd have to say my favorite arc was the 22nd tournament. And the reason for this is I do like the clashing kind of ideologies of like the turtle school versus the crane school. I do like how Tien's inner struggle goes, like you could see it, right? You could see how he was as a person versus how he is now. I really like that a lot. I really like the fight between him and Goku and Tien finally realizing, hey, like, hey, wait a minute, let me do this on my own. This is not the right thing to do, right? And then he goes, basically, he leans into what Master Roshi told him, even though he didn't really want to. He ended up being like, wait a minute, this is not right. This is like, let me do this on my own, right? So they have like a fair fight, and it ends with him winning, kind of unlucky, right? But they were pretty even. I just really like that whole arc a lot. I really like how Tien grows from that, and I do like how Goku grows from that too. I really like how Goku gets to respect him more, and how it ends with them like shaking hands and everything like that. That's really cool to me. That's all that is super cool to me. And then I do like his journey to get stronger to beat like King Piccolo, though. I mean, there's some aspects of it that it's like okay, it's kind of like a step down, but a lot more that's like okay, step up from where it just was, right? Because it gives you more knowledge on Roshi, and like more kind of like a more in-depth knowledge of how God works and how Piccolo is, and how they were once one being and everything like that. I really like that a lot. I do like the sacrifice that Goku has to make to be like, hey, let me get my friends back to life, bring back Shenron, bring back like the Dragon Balls, and I'll stay here, train with you for 3 years before I go see him, right? So he trains for 3 years, and then you see how he grows, right? You see how he grows in terms of like martial arts, right? In terms of everything else, he's pretty much the same, but in terms of like fighting and everything, you get to see how he's like, okay, now I'm actually gonna think about how I'm gonna fight. Because before, in like when he was like a kid and stuff, it wasn't really thinking about how he was gonna fight or anything. It was more instinctual. But he ends up finding like with the fight with Tien, like, oh, here's your weaknesses. Here's where your strengths are. Here's your weaknesses. Let me get a good feel for you. Let me, since you're really strong, you got much stronger, but I'm still kind of stronger than you. But it could be either way. And then with Piccolo, it's more of that same kind of thing where he's thinking a lot more rather than going into the fight. And I think I like that a lot. I really like that a lot about how Goku just ends up, right? And even into like Z, he becomes much more of he basically just grows as a person a lot. He grows as a person a whole lot, and I think that's like his greatest strength throughout like Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, because you could see him grow and you could see him wanting to be more, but not be it never becomes too much, right? He becomes what he wants to be. And I think that's really like the main staple of Goku. How he goes through things and goes past things and is still true to himself. I think that's like the biggest his biggest strength as just a character in general. That's what I really like about Goku. But all this to say that Dragon Ball, from start to finish, pretty good, right? I think if you're gonna get like the beginning of it to any other arc in Dragon Ball, I think that would probably be the weakest arc. But from start to finish, pretty good. I'd give it like an 8 out of 10, like an 8.5. That would be my my rating for it if I was like gonna rate it. But yeah. Sorry I haven't made a video in a while. I've been wanting to make this video for a while. I've been dealing with like personal stuff, so I haven't been active, I guess. I haven't been doing things a whole lot because I've been focusing on that. But yeah, I'm gonna try posting videos more. I'm gonna try posting stuff like this more. I'm probably gonna make a Dragon Ball video next, or just like probably a fighters video because I haven't played fighters in a while. And fighters came out with an update. I was like, hey, I was gonna play this. I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play this, and I didn't play the update, and then had another update after that, and I was like, first it was like what 1.4, and then it was like 1.41 and 1.41. But yeah, probably gonna make a video like that next. I might get my friends to, I don't know, like play Left 4 Dead or something with me or something like that. But yeah, if you like the video, like, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.